Hello, and welcome to Setheldore's World of Warcraft Guides after an extremely long break. Good God, it is nice to be back and see you folks again, or even just talk to you all. Thank you for watching this video, first of all. So, what we are going to talk about this time around is going to be PvE Holy Paladin Spec'ing. Now you might say, I already watched this video, you did it a long time ago at level 80 with 85 talents. Well, there have been some patches, obviously, and some things changed, and also a suggestion is only okay if you haven't tested it yourself. And obviously, the complete suggestion I gave on those videos I could not test because 80 was the level cap. Now it's 85, and what do you know, my Paladin is in fact level 85. So, I will now be able to give you a more accurate suggestion as to a suggested holy spec that I have used personally. Again, this is for PvE, so keep that in mind as we make these selections. So, first off, we have Holy Shock for picking Holy, which is our instant cast heal that can also be used offensively. Very nice, very short cooldown, very vital to any Holy Paladin's repertoire, if you will. Next, we get Walk in the Light, which is 10% bonus healing, essentially, which is badass. Thank you, sir. Not going to complain there. Meditation allows 50% mana regen from Spirit to continue well in combat. Delicious, especially now that all healers need mana, unfortunately. Those of us from Wrath really enjoyed not having to worry about Spirit as a Holy Paladin. Unfortunately, now we do. Pooh. Okay, so our mastery at level 80, yeah, 80, is called Illuminated Healing, which essentially provides us with the ability to put bubbles on targets, similar to a priest. I'll read it out to you because it's a little confusing as to how it scales. Your direct healing spells place an absorb shield on your target for 16% of the amount healed, lasting 8 seconds. Each point of mastery increases the absorb amount by an additional 1.25%. So, essentially, you're increasing the amount absorbed based on how, like, the base heal you did. So, 16% of the heal on the target will turn into a shield afterwards as well, absorbing. Well, if I have an extra point of mastery, that turns into 17.25% of that heal turns into a bubble afterwards, and it stacks like that. So, it increases the amount of percent from the heal you cast that gets converted or added on as an additional bubble. So it is absolutely wonderful. It is a great mastery. Do not reforge away from mastery. I would say that it is very helpful to have that. So let us hop into the tree as per importance, and look at the first row. We have Arbiter of the Light, which increases critical strike chance of Judgment and Templar's Verdict by 12%. We do not have Templar's Verdict, so that would simply apply to Judgment, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but that's more of a damage coefficient increase, at least at the moment, so let's not look at that. We have Protector of the Innocent. When casting a targeted heal on anyone except yourself, it also heals yourself for around 3k when you have 3 points in. Pretty nice. You don't have to waste mana on yourself as much. By healing others, you can heal yourself. It's a pretty cool talent. It's too bad that it says except for yourself, though. They added that in a hotfix, which was a little disappointing. And then we have Judgments of the Pure, which is a rollover from Wrath that they put in the first row, which is pretty nice. It'll increase your casting and melee haste by 9% for a minute when you judge. This, coupled with Arbiter of Light, is quite a tasty combo because you can get haste and crit and get a crit off at the same time. So that's pretty cool. Also, there's a few other things that benefit when you crit from a spell. We'll get to those as we go down the tree, so Arbiter of Light isn't actually all horrible. But I would definitely take Protector of the Innocent, as not having to heal yourself and having more free time to heal others is very important, very helpful, very nice, because you are primarily a single target healer still as a Paladin, so being able to keep just one more person up, regardless of who that is, as a healer, even if it's just by a little bit, helps out in the long run. And then finally, I would say 2 in Judgments of the Pure. At this point, expect to backfill, as always, in all of my videos. Also, just a quick side note, keep in mind all of my videos are simply suggestions as to what I found personally works. If you don't agree with them, go ahead and say, hey, this doesn't make sense to me, this is why, this is what I've found to work. Don't say, oh, this is wrong, because opinions cannot be wrong, okay? Alright. Now that we've got that out of the way, next row we have Clarity of Purpose, which reduces the casting time of our Holy Light and Divine Light spells. Holy Light is going to be your primary healing spell, because it's got a medium cast time, medium amount of healing. Divine Light is your huge spell. It's got a longer cast time, but it heals for like 2, 3, maybe even in some cases 4 times as much as Holy Light will. So it's very good to reduce the casting time of those by 0.5 seconds. Actually, they have the same amount of cast time. It's just the mana coefficient is very, very gapped, if you will. Either way, reducing the cast time of both of those spells, very, very nice, very, very important. Next, we have Last Word, which gives your Word of Glory a 30% increased critical strike chance when used on targets below 35%. That turns into 60% with 2 points. So basically, oh my god, you're dying, Word of Glory, hey, it crit because I'm lucky and I have that cool talent. Next, we also have Blazing Light, which increases the damage of Holy Shock and Exorcism by 20%. Damage? What the heck? We're not worrying about damage as a freaking Holy Paladin. You kidding me? Get out of here, Blazing Light. So, that leaves 2 points to spend. I would say 1 in Judgments of the Pure, because we do love backfilling, and 1 of 2 in Last Word, as getting the crit off of Word of Glory. Word of Glory currently is a very powerful spell, very enjoyable spell to use. So having it crit, especially when you need it to crit most of all, is very helpful. Pardon me, goodness. Next we have Denounce. Reduces the mana cost of Exorcism. In addition, you have 50% chance when casting Holy Shock to make Exorcism instant, cost no mana. What's with all this Exorcism crap? We're not going to be Exorcisming while we're healing in a PvE environment. Pretty sure Atramides isn't going to be forgiving enough to let us do that, or Omnitron, or hell, even Magmaw. So that one's a little bit more of actually a lot more of a PvP talent, so don't worry about that. Next is Divine Favor, an old favorite that's very high in the tree now compared to what it used to be. This used to be a very low talent in the tree that you wouldn't get till higher levels. Divine Favor, which now, it used to, I think it was reduce the mana cost of all your spells by like 50%, which frankly I preferred better, but sometime mid-end Watlook Kata, they changed it to increasing casting haste by 20% and spell crit chance by 20%, as you can clearly see. So this is definitely very nice, very important to pop in those very dangerous parts of the fight, like when Magmaw starts chewing on your tank, or say the big AoE damage phase of Omnitron when when Magmatron is up. So keep that in mind. This is a very powerful, very effective cooldown, especially when used in unison with a few others. Next we have an Infusion of Light. Going to try and speed it up here for you folks. Increases the critical effect chance of your Holy Shock by 10%. In addition, your Holy Shock critical effects reduce the casting time of your next Holy Light or Divine Light by 1.5 seconds. Pretty awesome. Your next cast will be faster, and also you get more crit on your instant heal. Definitely take 2 points in there. Very delicious. Next, we also have Daybreak, which causes basically all 3 of your primary heals, FOL, Holy Light, and Divine Light, to have a 20% chance to make your next Holy Shock not trigger cooldown if used within 12 seconds. This is displayed in the built-in power auras, if you will, as 2 gold little bars around the center of your character, so you know when it's up, and it is a very, very excellent, excellent talent, because if you can use Holy Shock twice in a row, that's 2 quick holy powers, if you will, that you can get very fast. If you have those 2 holy powers, that activates your Word of Glory and your, I believe it's called Light of Dawn, which is your frontal cone heal, which we'll get to at the bottom of this tree here. Very nice. You can get holy power very fast and in a row. You can heal more efficiently on the move if you time it with Daybreak procs. Very nice talent. I highly recommend getting it. Very important to get. Next we have Enlightened Judgments, which gives you some hit based on your spirit. That way your judgments don't miss, so it's not wasted mana. And also increases the range of your judgment by 10 yards. In addition, when you judgment, you also heal yourself. So this goes really nice with Protector of the Innocent, because when you heal someone else, you heal yourself as well. When you judge on an enemy, you heal yourself as well. It's pretty nice, but we're still trying to understand what's the point of judging other than to get the haste. Which, to be honest, in its own right is good. So since we're going to be judging, we could even debate, oh, well, hell, why not heal myself by judging at the same time? But let's finish looking at this row and come back. Beacon of Light, they changed it so that it's not 100% of healing done, but now 50%, and they also extended the time it lasts to 5 minutes, which is delicious. Unfortunately, they reduced the amount of healing transferred to the beacon to 50%. However, it is still very powerful, very nice talent. You have to get it, essentially, to be a good Paladin raid healer, to be honest. I don't believe it'll work without it. I mean, you could, feel free to prove me wrong, but I mean, let alone this, the one it leads to is ridiculously helpful too. Anyway, let's hit Speed of Light, which grants you 3% more spell haste, which you can't really complain with off the bat right there, and also reduces the cooldown of your Holy Radiance by 30 seconds. Holy Radiance is the new Paladin ability that causes you to essentially radiate healing. Based on people's distance from you, they'll receive more or less healing. The farther away, the less healing they get. It's a pretty neat ability, actually, and having it ready 30 seconds more often makes you really helpful with the group healing. Dear God, it is amazing for group healing. So keep that in mind. You really want to use it anytime you have mana to spare. It's really good. It goes on while you're while you're using other heals. It's basically like a mobile healing zone. If you look at like Efflorescence from Resto Druids, the green circle, or Holy Word Sanctuary from Holy Priest, the golden circle on the ground where people get healed, or Healing Rain from Shamans, where if you stand in that circle, you'll get healed. Just picture a circle around the Paladin when he pops this, and it moves with him, and that's your healing zone that will help heal with this. Not only that, but when you cast Holy Radiance, your movement speed is increased by 60% for 4 seconds. So in situations like Omnitron, oh my god, Toxitron's up and I got an ad on me and he's right on my ass. Bam! Not only are you going to heal the group by casting Holy Radiance, but you're going to get your ass out of there 60% faster, which is going to be greatly needed. Plus, I'm sorry, it is only for your own movement speed. So just keep that in mind. It's a pretty nice thing to have on you, not just for the heal, but for the movement increase, because there is a significantly larger amount of moving in Cataclysm raids. Alright, Sacred Cleansing. Your cleanse now also dispels 1 magic effect. Currently, without this, it does 1 disease and 1 poison. Pretty much all holy specs have this, and you pretty much need to take it 100% of the time, because all kinds of debuffs are thrown out. So just have it to be prepared to use it. Alright, so we did not pick up Enlightened Judgments at the moment, but be prepared to backfill. Now, Conviction. This is the reason that the crit bonus on your Judge from Arbiter of the Light may indeed be a viable option. It gives you a 3% bonus to damage and healing for 15 seconds after causing a critical strike from a weapon swing, spell, or ability. This effect stacks up to 3 times. Before, this was called something else. No, it was in the Ret tree, called something else, maybe. I don't know. But it was basically the same thing. They moved it to the Holy Tree. And Judgment does, when it crits, give you a stack of this, and all of your heals, when they crit, gives you a stack of this. So it is very good, basically capping out at 9% bonus healing, which is awesome. You can't complain with that. That's like doubling the bonus you get for choosing, whatever you want to call it, the Holy Spec. Next we have Aura Mastery, which isn't bad. It causes your concentration aura to make all targets immune to silence and interrupt effects, and improve the effect of all other auras by 100%, last 6 seconds. Avoiding the interrupt and silence effects is nice, but also being able to double your resistance aura or your devotion aura is really, really nice as well. It can help mitigate some more damage. And finally, we have Paragon of Virtue, which reduces the cooldown of your Divine Protection by 20 seconds, which is now actually on a 1-minute cooldown, so it would be at a 40-second cooldown. But it is still only usable on yourself, so debatable whether that's good. Hand of Sacrifice will be reduced by 30 seconds. That's the one where you apply it on a target, and some of the damage done to them goes to you instead. And finally, your Avenging Wrath, or better known as Wings, will be ready a minute more often, dropping it from 3 to 2 minutes. So, that's pretty nice. However, not super needed, to be honest, because Divine Protection, yeah, you could be popping that to help mitigate damage. That's pretty cool. Hand of Sacrifice, I personally have never really actually used it. I guess you could mitigate some damage off of the tank in heavy tank damage phases, but I honestly have not actually found a good use for it. And then Avenging Wrath is an awesome cooldown, but I don't know if I need it every 2 minutes. I think I can get away with needing it every 3 minutes. So I'm going to take these 2 points, grab one more in Last Word, and hell, why not grab Aura Mastery, which is pretty tight, getting that double armor from Devotion Aura. Blessed Life. You have a 100% chance to gain a charge of holy power whenever you take direct damage. This effect cannot occur more than once every 8 seconds. Well, if the tanks are doing their job right, and you're doing your job right, keeping them alive, you shouldn't be taking direct damage. The only damage you should be taking should be AoE damage. So, that's probably not the best talent for you to be looking at picking, to be honest. This one, however, is really nice. Tower of Radiance. Healing the target of your Beacon of Light with Flash of Light or Divine Light has a 100% chance to generate a charge of Holy Power. Now, Flash of Light and Divine Light are generally used for emergencies. Flash of Light is very fast, very powerful, and very mana expensive. Divine Light is moderately fast. It's got a medium cast time, ridiculously powerful, and also ridiculously high on the mana cost. So you save those for dangerous situations. Now, what's cool about this talent is you're going to be healing the main tank with them, or someone. The way I heal is I put Beacon on main tank, and I spot heal and then heal the tank when I need to. But, when you go to healing him with those 2 emergency heals, that's going to be giving you Holy Power faster, which can help you alternately do group healing fast with a Light of Dawn, which we'll get to in a moment, or also help keep up the tank with a Word of Glory, which does not cost mana. So you're kind of saying, I'm going to burn more mana now to save mana later by using it in Holy Power instead of mana. That's one way of looking at it. It's pretty cool, it's a neat effect, and it's one of those things where I'm going to take it, because if I have to use it, or if I need it, I want it there, but I hope I never have to need it, because I don't want to have to use those emergency heals on my beacon target. So, because if you're having to use emergency heals, the tank's taking a lot of damage, which is never a good thing. So it's kind of like, I want it because it's cool and it's really good, but at the same time I hope I never have to see it in action, because that means the tank is taking a crap ton of damage, which is sometimes just the case. Alright, so pass on Blessed Life, which leaves us with 2 points. You could really debate putting them in either Arbiter of the Light, Enlightened Judgments, Paragon of Virtue. I would say skip Blazing Light and Denounce. Absolutely do not even think about putting any points in them. I'm honestly going to say grab Enlightened Judgments, because healing yourself when you judge is, of course, going to help you keep focus on the tanks and not on yourself from taking damage. And finally, we get the Paladin's Cone Heal, Light of Dawn, which is based off of Holy Power. It spurges out a cone of holy light in front of you, healing X amount per charge of Holy Power. It, of course, scales with spell power coming from intellect, etc., etc., etc. 30-yard cone. Really good, helps with group heals, also heals yourself, I might add, including everyone else within 30-yard frontal cone of you. So, pretty good, it's pretty self-explanatory why you want that, what it does, so I'm not going to go too far into that. Now that we have the protection and ret trees open, let's take a quick look at them. We have Divinity, which is basically all healing effects done on and by you are increased by 6%. Self-explanatory why that's good. 6% more healing on top of your mastery, plus the 9% received from conviction. Once that's fully stacked is ridiculously, oh my god, uber. That's freaking, what, 25 extra healing percentage? Next we have Seals of the Pure, which increases damage of 3 of your seals that you won't be using. You'll pretty much be using Seal of Insight 100% of the time as a Holy Paladin, so don't worry about that. Eternal Glory. This is a very good talent. Your Word of Glory has a 30% chance not to consume Holy Power. Now, what this means is, bam, 3-point Word of Glory on the tank. Oh my god, 30% of the time it's not going to eat up the Holy Power. That means I can do 2 Word of Glories, or Word of Glory Light of Dawn, or, if you're really lucky, multiple Word of Glories in a row. So, you know, Eternal Glory, that's a really awesome talent, to be honest. I would recommend all Holy Paladins getting that in combination with your Holy Spec. Really, the second tree of prod is not that impressive. Improved Hammer Justice, shouldn't have to worry about stuns as a Holy Paladin. Increasing armor, I guess, could help, but usually it's magic damage from AoEs, so... and armor doesn't help mitigate magic damage. And then Judgments of the Just, which reduces melee and range attack speed when you judge. You are going to be judging, but you are not going to need to worry about that. Most prop pallies have that anyway. Alright, let's poke around at Retribution. Eye for an eye, magic attacks do damage back to the attacker. Meh. Crusade increases damage done by abilities that we don't have, and healing and damage of Holy Shock by 30%. That sounds pretty tasty. 30% increased effectiveness from Holy Shock? Yeah, take that. And then we're going to have the option of Improved Judgment, which will increase it by 20 yards when capped out. Now, from Enlightened Judgments, we've already increased it 10 yards, so I believe that makes it a 20-yard ability already. So you could debate putting 1 or even 2 points in this. Yes, that's very viable. These, at this point, are what I would say are the fudge points, the customization points, if you will, because, as with all my videos, I recommend you customize this and tailor it to your own personal playstyle, as using someone else's cookie-cutter mold is never going to be as comfortable as using your own self-customized, self-drawn-up talent spec. So take everything with a grain of salt, folks. With these last 2 points, you could easily debate putting them in Improved Judgment, so that you can be further away and still judge. Paragon of Virtue would be a very good choice to take as well, because you can get that Avenging Wrath up a minute earlier. And Arbiter of the Light is, of course, very excellent, because your Conviction is likely to stack more often, plus it's extra damage on the boss, which is a good thing. So, really, it's just a question of, do I want to beef up my judge more? Do I want to be safer and have the option of being further away while still being able to judge? Or do I want to have that awesome cooldown up more often? I personally am going to grab Paragon of Virtue too, because having Avenger's Wrath up a minute earlier is going to be good for, say, emergencies that were unexpected. Like, okay, I know I want to pop Avenging Wrath when Magma starts chewing on the boss, but something unexpected happens. Oh shit, the hunter didn't move in time for Pillar of Flame, and I need to throw him 1 or 2 powerful heals because the group healers are busy. And I can't leave the tank for that long. So I wings, Flash of Light, Holy Light on the hunter, and then back to the tank right away before he drops below 50%. It's like, it just helps you prepare for bad situations and have a cooldown up more often to be able to deal with them. Also, having Divine Protection up 20 seconds earlier helps when you are, say, the target for acquiring target from Magmatron, and you need some DR. You can pop this one and then have it ready 20 seconds earlier for his defense security measure, which is the giant group AoE. It's just little places where you can pop this and say, oh yes, it helped out. The more often you can do that, the better. Atramity's modulation, again, is a great example of this. Modulation happens like every, 15, 25, so this will be up for every other modulation almost, your Divine Protection, so it could be really helpful. Just keep that in mind when you're picking talents. Although Arbiter of the Light, still a very good choice to pick. I would say Arbiter of the Light and Improved Judgments and Retribution ability would be the 2 other very valid options for you to look at. Anyway, this has been Holy Paladin Spec'ing with Sethaldor on the server Blade's Edge in the Guild Sacrilege on the topic of, what did I just say? Holy Paladin Spec'ing. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I love making these videos for you guys. I'm sorry I've been away for such a long time, and I hope you enjoyed this. Please thumb up, subscribe, tell your friends about me, etc., the whole shebang. You know how it goes. Alright, thanks again, and I can't wait to make another one for you. See ya!